Tampa's one of those teams as well. Like, they're one of those teams that is not afraid of getting immediately criticized by the price that they pay to give up, or the price that they pay to go get the guys they want.
Big trade. I believe the biggest return package sent thus far in the trade season. Lightning get Yanni Gourde, Oliver Bjorkstrand, 2026 fifth-round pick from the Kraken, who in turn receive a 2026 first-round pick from Tampa, a 2027 first-round pick from Tampa, a 2025 second-round pick that was initially the Maple Leafs, and Mikey Eyssimont. Huge move made by the currently third-place Lightning in the Atlantic Division. Massive stuff.
Yeah, I really like it for the Lightning. They're a team that we always talk about the Vegas Golden Knights as a team that identifies the guys that they want and go out and get them no matter the price and no matter the hurdles that it takes to get there.
Or their availability.
Yeah, they don't have to be on any trade board, nothing. Tampa's one of those teams as well. Like, they're one of those teams that is not afraid of getting immediately criticized by the price that they pay to give up, or the price that they pay to go get the guys they want. I mean, look no further than the Tanner Jeannot trade, in which they basically traded an entire draft to get Tanner Jeannot. Did that work out for them? No, but it's worked out for them a bunch of other times, whether it's Blake Coleman and other guys that they want to get. Yeah, Barclay Goodrow, Nick Paul, bunch of those guys. I really like this trade. I really like both of the players, Bjorkstrand and Gourde. They're a much tougher team to play against as a result of this trade, and they reinforced the depth, which they didn't really have. They were basically a one-line team, 1.5-line team. Now their top 9 is much more solid.
So that's the thing. Like, Yanni Gourde right now is more of a third liner, but he's been around. He's won with the Lightning. Awesome get. Oliver Bjorkstrand is going to do wonders for just giving this team more beyond its top line. This guy is probably going to be a stud on Lightning power play. And my biggest takeaway from this is we owe the Lightning and Julien Brisebois an apology for criticizing how they handled the offseason, because from July 1 through now, everything they've done has been like, that's pretty good. Yeah. I had questions about Gensel. Not that he couldn't be a very good player, because we learned that in Carolina after he moved on from Sidney Crosby, but I didn't think he was going to be the unbelievable player that he has been. And now they're right back where they kind of always are, which is no, not the fringe playoff team that some of us thought they might fall to. They are right there in a very good division, just a couple of points behind the Panthers, I believe, right in the mix to stay and keep a top 3 spot there, make the playoffs. And now, as you said, they have 3 good lines, and their power play is going to hum. Huge price to pay, but I don't know if I quite go tidy bit of work, because they did pay so much. 3 picks in the first 2 rounds, and yes, 2 of them are futures, but man, that's a lot to pay. But if you think that this is wide open, which this year kind of does seem wide open, especially in the East, why not? I'm not going to criticize you again, because I've been proven wrong by you.
And you're addressing two spots of need. You get a solidified second line like that. Hagel, Cirelli, Bjorkstrand line, if that's what they roll out, is going to be a nightmare to play against. And Yanni Gourde as a checking line center on your third line, like, oh yeah, you're in a much better spot here. Their top 6 is pretty nasty, and you're looking at a year of control beyond this season for Oliver Bjorkstrand. So you're paying for that as well. And then assuming Yanni Gourde, maybe you give yourself a chance to keep him at a lower than market value price because he likes that spot, perhaps. Like, this is a good deal for Tampa, and regardless of what they had to pay to bring in these guys.
Other takeaway, it is a seller's market. If you have guys with another year left on the deal that you're, we'd rather keep them, we'd rather build for next year, maybe you wouldn't. If you are getting first-round picks out the wazoo, this was not a first-round pick for Yanni Gourde and a first-round pick for Oliver Bjorkstrand. This is a probably 1.5 first-round picks for Oliver Bjorkstrand and half a first-round pick for Yanni Gourde. Is that the way that you would split it up more?
I don't know. Sure.
I think this is mainly you are paying a lot to get a good player who's probably going to be on your second line, and you have for one more year beyond this. So if you are such a team like the Seattle Kraken, and we've talked about a lot of teams that have guys who, you could hold on to them for another year and take another kick at it last year. If you want first-round picks, they're going to get moved this year. Mm-hmm. That much has been made clear. So
I think part of that too is that teams that are competing, like this is not a deep draft. It's not considered a great draft coming up. So like maybe that's an additional willingness to get rid of those first round picks. But you're right. I mean, like you look at a team like Boston, and you've got pieces that like you're on the fence about moving. Say Charlie Coyle, yeah, like a Brandon Carlo. I think you are getting pushed and nudged towards the other side of the fence, which is deal them because you are going to get a haul.
They have the 2027 first round pick, or 2027 first round pick from the Lightning, do the Kraken. And
26?
And 26. 26, I can guess, isn't going to be very good. But at some point, the Lightning are going to get old. And in some ways, the Lightning already are old. That's one to circle. That's a very, very interesting piece for the Kraken.
That's a good point. And I mean, I was talking about the willingness to deal first round picks for 2025. That's obvious. That didn't happen here. My apologies. 2026, 27. You're also talking about a team that doesn't have a first round pick for now the next 3 years.
Right, but don't kick yourself too hard. The second round pick they moved was a 2025 pick. So that's still a high pick in a draft that people aren't crazy about. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be thinking about that 2027 first round pick from Tampa. And if I am a Kraken fan, I'm thinking about that too.
I think from a Kraken standpoint too, like you like what you got for these two players because like the Kraken are going nowhere fast. That's the truth in my eyes. So if you can stockpile assets, whether you use them or not in terms of draft capital, get as much as you can and then expedite that rebuild.
But if you're the Kraken, maybe you're not done and you are trying to rebuild. We've heard about players, whether it's Dylan Cousins, whether it's Elias Pettersson, good players on long-term contracts who might need a change of scenery and who might not necessarily kickstart a playoff run right now. So if you just want to get a head start on trying to acquire one of those guys, right now, you're the Kraken, you're flush. You can go out and you turn that around and spend. So maybe they're not done. It portends well for anybody who is excited to see things go down at the deadline. And make sure you watch us on our 24-hour trade deadline stream. That is right, a 24-hour long show beginning Thursday at 5 p.m. It's going to take you just past 2 hours past Friday's 3 p.m. trade deadline. Thursday at 5 ET to Friday at 5 ET. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.